Namaskaram. Welcome to the next session in our series of Mother Earth Speaks to Corporates. Today we are going to look at verse number 5. Mayanai Mannu Vadamadurai Manjanai. Before we get into any detailed discussion, so our pattern has been listen to the song first, then get into discussions. So let us listen to the song now.
மாயனே மனவட மதுரை மைந்தனை மாயனே மகவட மதுரை மைந்தனை தூய பெருடி யமுனை துறைவனை ஆய குல தீரில் தோழுகணி விளக்கை தாயை குடல் விளக்கம் செய்த தாமோதரனை ஆய குல தீரில் தோழுகணி விளக்கை தாயை குடல் விளக்கம் செய்த தாமோதரனை தூயோமாய் வந்து நாம் தூமலர் தூவி தொழுது பாயினால் பாடி மனத்தினால் சிந்திக்க போய பிழையோ புகுதருவான் என்ற போய பிழையோ புகுதருவான் என்ற தீதில் தோசகோ செப்பேலோ தீதில் தோசகோ செப்பேலோ
So that was a nice rendering of the song by Madam Vimala Srinivasan. Thank you, Madam. This raga is called Sri. This is the 22nd in the Malagartha table. This is the derivative of the 22nd Malagartha raga, which is Karahara Priya. This is one of the derivatives. This is the fourth raga in the fourth chakra, which is the Veda. So related to the Veda, Gospels, kind of a thing. This is considered to be a very auspicious raga and also a little difficult in the sense the descending notes. I had already mentioned the swaras are ascending and descending, arohana, avarohana. The descending notes, the pattern is zigzag. So to the extent it becomes a little difficult, not the normal pattern, it's difficult. It also indicative of the verse and the picking up of the connectivity to the corporate may not be in a very, very serial manner. It could be kind of a complicated one, zigzag. So this can be one of the correction for the song and the raga and the verse, and rest I will leave it to your imagination. On this verse, before we get into the verse, let us look at the sequence, how we had gone so far. Verse 1, we talked of the mission the belief in the mission and the associated points around the mission. The second one was about the purpose and the focus required, and also the discipline that is required. That was the highlight of the verse 2. The third one, our attitude toward the mission. Like we must stretch, we must keep our workplace very beautiful. It gives you the motivation, that kind of enthusiasm, and that also leads to another responsibility as a corporate, that we should have maintaining the ecological balance. The last verse, the fourth one, was the logistics support that is required to the success of the mission, and the support requirement is highlighted by the front line, which is a very unique feature of that particular song, which also talks about the bottom-up management, inverted pyramid, we call it as. It has got a better effect. This is the first four verses. And the fifth one, how do we continue in the fifth one? How it flows into the fifth one. The fifth one, it talks about the attributes of the employees toward the mission. This is the theme of the particular verse, and it takes various points like some metaphor. From that metaphor we can pick up some of the points, and then we can summarize. It talks about the sense of belongingness, the pride, the credibility, visibility, and benefits of getting a very high visibility and the credibility. All those points are covered in this. When we summarize, the clarity will be there, I am sure. Now, let us get into the line by line description. Why I am going, all the verses I had gone line by line. All these verses are described in the interpretive way because of the connectivity. That's how the connectivity can be called out. And then we can summarize the next as a concluding one. So if you look at this song, Mayanai, Mannu Vadamadure Maindhanai, Thuya Perinir, Yamunai Thuravanai, Ayarugulathil Tundu Manivilakkai, Thai Kudavalakam say the Damodarani. This is the first four lines. These are the lines which can be considered as a metaphor, and we can pick up a few points out of this. The metaphor is of two types. The head of the organization is a metaphor from whom we can learn a lot of things, and the associated points about the organization, which brings the sense of pride to be associated with the kind of a chief on the organization. And the second half is about the attributes I talked of. So we'll go by the first one. It talks of Mayanai. Mayan means a kind of a magician who could do a lot of things in a jiffy. That means he has got a multi capabilities of doing various things. In the current corporate world, we say, oh, he is a magician, oh, jugaad karta hai. He does a lot of jugaad to get the things done. So always sourcing, whenever you have a difficulty, sourcing. He is a very identified person. The second one is identifying the person as a Vada Madurai Maindhanai. So Vada Madurai is associated with the place. People normally say, no, I am from this place, which is rich in this, rich in this. So they talk of the place from where they come. So they talk about the glory of that. There is a sense of pride that I belong to this place, I am coming from this place. Likewise, this Vadamudurai is another exalted place. It has got a position of the exalted position. Why Vadamudurai? There is an attribute of Vada. There is another one, which is the direction. Vada means north. Sri Andal, she belongs to a place called Srivilliputturu, which is closer to a place called Madurai in the southern part of the Indian subcontinent. So here she refers this Madurai as the other one, not this Madurai, the other Madurai, where the Lord Krishna was born. So that is the association to that. So that brings a sense of pride. I love that place. This is Vada Madurai. Vada Madurai means the northern side of the northern Madura, the Madura which is in the northern part of the Indian subcontinent. So it brings the sense of pride. Vada Madurai Maindane. I like to be associated with that kind of a person. The second line talks about the purity around the place. We talked about the ecological balance. Here also it talks about the ecological balance, which is specific reference to the water resource, which is the river. It's about the Yamuna river. She talks about the Yamuna river, which is about which is in the north. She says Tuya Perinir. Tuya Perinir means pure and flooding kind of a copious flow of water. Perinir means copious flow of water. Of course, nowadays Yamuna is different. That's a different thing. But it talks about the again the balance in the ecology. How should we keep the rivers? So how do we refer to the corporate is the question. This is about the keeping the river clean is not an easy task. You have to do a lot of things. So you should set the things in order. You should sort a few things. You should standardize the maintenance of the place, and you should be able to sustain. So this brings the concept of the 5S, which is currently talked in the corporates. So the 5S concept also comes into the picture. That place must be spick and span, etc., etc., etc. The first line I said the Mayane, I missed the point. The Mayane also, we talked of multi-capability. This is a metaphor for the multitasking capability. That means anything can be done. So I have the capability of doing a lot of things. So including the Jugaad. So there is a multitasking capability. And the sense of pride I have already talked about the third line. Also the next line is very, very interesting. Ayar Kulathinil Tondri Anivilakkai. What is specific about the Ayar Kulam means? This is a cow herd community. Cow herd community is a kind of people whose job is only to take the cows in the morning to the green field, allow them to graze so that they can produce a lot of milk and bring them back and get the milk. These are profession. Not well-read people, they are not educated, illiterate people. But within the community, there could be a lot of stars coming up. So it means that the background does not matter for a person to shine. And we have plenty of examples who have come from very, very humble background, very simple background, illiterate kind of a background, but they have ruled the world. So we have seen a lot of people. So that is another metaphor that we can pick up. The next one is, there are two things that comes in this line. Thayai Kudavalakkam Seida Damodarani. So Thayai Kudavalakkam Seida means making the mother proud that you have been her son. So this chief, she refers, Lord Krishna has made her, his mother, very, very proud. Thayai Kudavalakkam Seida. Later part of the time, Saint Valur also mentioned the same thing. ஈன்ற போதினும் பெரிதுவக்கும் தன் மகனை சான்றோன் என கேட்ட தாய். Again the meaning is the same. The pressure that she got when you were born is nothing in front of the pressure that she gets when people praise. This also is a important point that we can connect to the corporate is. Parent in this sense is my teacher, my mentor. So I make my mentor very proud by my good acts, my good deeds, my achievements. In the process, I also make my parents very, very proud. So this is again another attribute that we should have, that we must strive to do good things, that we make our mentors, teachers, parents very, very proud. Damodarani also is a very, very interesting word. Damodara means there are two parts of this word, Dhamu and Udharam, Dama Udharam. Dama means a card. The card can be referred to the framework of the organization. Udara means the bending place, the hip, it is tied. So Lord Krishna was tied in his hip through a cord and tied to a pillar, which is the organization. So it is not adrift. This is called the anchoring, anchor. Every company has some kind of an anchor. Some people call it as a dean anchor, some people call it as a quality anchor, some people call it as a philosophy anchor. So they have got some anchor which guides the people to one particular direction. Every organization has that. That means every organization must have an anchor because people are coming from different fields, different backgrounds, different educational qualification, thinking, but they must be aligned to one mission for which they frame certain amount of guidelines. We talked on the verse 2, do's and don'ts. Likewise, this also is the bending, the framework within which we should work. The metaphor works very beautifully there as well. The next line is about the attributes. Tuyoma Vandunam. Tuyama means purity. Again, we talked about the purity when we talked about the river. The mind must be pure. The intent must be pure. There must be no hidden agenda. When you exhibit that kind of a attribute, people start liking you. Your credibility goes up. Your visibility goes up. This is another important point that comes out of the whole song. And the next three words are about the alignment of three things that we do. Tumalar, tuvi means action. Tuvi means we are putting the flowers in front of the God, which is the mission in our case, actions. Vainal Padi. Vainal Padi means the words that I use, whatever I talk is towards the mission. Manathinal Sindhike, whatever I think is about the mission all the time. That means I am aligning my thought, my words, communication and the action are aligned to one particular mission, which brings the effectiveness of the mission and the success is assured. This is an important thing. When we do this, the credibility of the person increases, the visibility of the person increases. It connects to the making our mentor proud. The credibility gives you that kind of a position that even some small mistakes here and there will get ignored or will be mildly reprimanded. Take care of it, don't do this again. So they are not going to come heavily on those small mistakes because the credibility is already built very high. This also is referred in this verse as Poye Payim Pugudurvan Inanavum. When you do this, final party Manasindika, when you align all your thoughts and your credibility goes up, small mistakes will get ignored. It will be like just burnt out of the dust getting burnt out of that. This is the important point that comes out of this. Very beautifully connecting verse. If you have to summarize this in our regular 7 points, number 1, have a pride and sense of belongingness to the organization and the mission. That is an important one for the success of the mission. Number 2, keep the place very clean. Follow the 5S. 5S is sort, set, shine, standard, sustain. All of you know the corporate language. The third one is there must be an anchor for aligning people without drifting in the organization, and we must follow the anchor. We must be bound to the framework the organization defines. And the alignment of our thought, our words and our act must be aligned towards only one particular point of time, which is the mission. People say, no, so I walk the item, I sleep the item, I eat the item. That means everything is focused only toward that. When we do that, the credibility improves. Credibility and visibility improves. The public praise improves. In the process, small mistakes get ignored or lightly reprimanded, and you can do with more vigor. Multitasking is an important one. The jugaad, the multitasking is important. That means we must have the capability of doing various tasks. We cannot say no to anyone, anything. I should find some way to get the things done. And the background, the pedigree, the lineage, not central to the glory. The good intent, the thought, the words, acts will make the star shine wherever he is coming from. This is the summary of the verse 5. So this all the 5 is a kind of an introductory one. On the next items will be more of action, what we should do to do this, what we should do to do this. In the process, she also brings out a lot of role models. Within the organization, we have a lot of role models. For this, follow this person. For this, follow this person. Likewise, she brings a lot of people as a role models. And then that's how the whole thing goes and finally concludes as a final one, how we are able to succeed this mission. So I hope I have given enough insights to this verse. I hope to continue with the same kind of detailing in the subsequent verses also, till we meet the next 3-4 days time. Namaskaram.